This is the T Roc, the 1.5 litre, 150 horsepower. I think it was a 205 newton meters of torque. Might be wrong on that one. But it feels like a really strong, beefy engine. You know, when you put your foot down, really feel that engine starting to kick up there. Revs are unlimited, of course, to go up to 6,000 before the red line. T Roc has been a really, really requested review. Now, this is the Irish launch of it, so I'm not reviewing the whole car here. I'm more my first impression of the whole thing. So T Roc fits in below Tiguan. So Tiguan is still the kind of bigger sister to this one, or brother, whatever you look at it. And T Roc fits in as a small crossover. Think kind of Volkswagen Golf Polo sized with SUV wheels on it. It has a kind of a coupe look. Coupe is mentioned quite a bit in the brochure, I think. It does, I suppose, have a coupe line to the outside, but what's really remarkable is, of course, the chin in the front, which has a kind of honeycomb grille, and then has these unique lights. When you indicate, they go from white to indicated colour, yellow, or in the case of America, it'll be red on the back. But in here in the cabin, it feels distinctly Volkswagen. There is some unique features. The temperature gauge and the fuel gauge on one side are uniquely T Roc. This satellite navigation system in the centre is the Volkswagen Group 1. It's probably, or will be very close to being the best in class by a considerable amount. Seating position is very good. The throw on the gearbox is actually quite nice. That 6-speed gearbox is very pleasant to use. Acceleration from a standstill is urgent, loud. Yeah, it's petrol, baby. I said these words when I reviewed a Volkswagen Up 4 or 5 years ago. Petrol's back, baby. And I meant it at the time. Petrol is back. Increase in sales this year, and petrol has been fairly remarkable according to what Volkswagen just told us, and the same for what Nissan's been telling us, and Mercedes and all the rest. They're all looking at petrol at the moment. This is based on the MQB chassis. The next chassis up, of course, from Volkswagen is going to be the MEB chassis, which I assume E is efficiency or economy or like e-Golf or something like that. It's going to house the next generation of these cars, which would be a different story again into the Volkswagen. That's coming here by 2020. But right now, 2018, we're looking at T Roc. Also launched here today was Polo. There's a video on my channel already of Polo. And we have the Tiguan Allspace. The Tiguan Allspace being a bigger version of Tiguan, but not 7 seats as standard. Kind of like Kodiak from Skoda. Same sort of car. Tiguan is by far and away, in its R-Line mode, absolutely the most handsome of those cars on the road, bar none. The problem is supply. Supply is now, or demand is well outstripped supply, so there's quite a long, lengthy wait list on them. So enter T Roc. T Roc is a bit smaller than Tiguan, but still it actually feels quite big in here. I mean, it's not like that small. I can't touch a door or something, you know. There's plenty of space in the cabin, plenty of controls in the cabin. You can use an eco tip to stop the engine, shift to neutral, and release the clutch. Thanks. On the controls here we have radio, of course, which allows me to do that. Then media, I haven't connected up my phone or anything. Then you have phone in there as well. You got voice. It's asking me questions. Examples of use of voice control.
Pardon?
Enter address.
Please say the full address, starting with the city.
Dublin city centre.
Did you mean Dublin, Seaview, 72?
No.
You can say an address or line number, or say, enter address again.
Enter address again.
Please say the full address again, starting with the city.
Dublin city centre.
Did you mean Dublin?
Yes.
Dublin. Please say the name of the street.
Long Mile Road.
Long Mile Road. Please say the house number.
1.
Would you like to start route guidance to Dublin, Long Mile Road, 1?
No thanks.
You can say, enter address again or start route guidance.
Cancel.
Cancel.
Voice control that works! I'm really impressed. I am so impressed. That's genius. That's deadly. Dublin city centre, of course, is not an address. I was just trying to trick it out so you could do that. Give it an actual address and it seemed to work it out for itself. Plug it in, you get Apple CarPlay, Google Android and MirrorLink as standard. They're all in there. As long as you buy that screen, obviously, you have to plumb for the screen. My initial feeling on the car is I feel like I'm driving a 5-door hatchback elevated into the sky, which is exactly what I am driving. My seating position and road position seems to be a little higher than normal. I mean, higher than a 5-door hatchback. The car itself feels very planted, very, very solid. I do like the gearbox is straight out of the Volkswagen Golf. The steering wheel is out of the Golf, so it all feels like a Volkswagen. So, you know, if you're into the Volkswagen vibe, man, you're going to like this. If this is your first entry into Volkswagen, it is a nice place to be so far. But I've had some questions from Instagram today. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should do. It's Bob Flavin on Instagram. One of the questions said that the plastics on the interior are very low quality. I'm not feeling the low quality, lads. It isn't up there with Passat, that is for sure. It isn't on like the mid-range Golf level, but you'd be better than some of the competition plastics that are out there. That feels alright to me. In Ireland, we'll have a choice of 1 litre and 1.5 litre. The 1 litre petrol engine we're going to get here is 115 horsepower. The 1.5, which is this one here, is 150 horsepower, and there's going to be a 2 litre diesel which will join it very shortly at 150 horsepower as well. This feels very planted, very, very good on the road for a 1.5 petrol. I don't have any problem with that engine. It feels every bit of Volkswagen Golf in here. It'll feel familiar to you if you've always driven a car like that. Overall, I really like it. I particularly like the look of the exterior. It looks broad, it looks tough, it looks planted on the road, and that's quite a nice place to be. Cabin seems to be well appointed. The plastics are a slight bit lower grade than the rest of the Volkswagen range, but I kind of expected that. If you're going to offer a car like this at the price that Volkswagen are offering it, something has to give along the way. You're going to have to do that. All electronic dashboard is optional, obviously, and this is optional size screen. But you know, under 40 grand for one of these cars at absolute top spec is pretty good. Now, as I say, this is a first impressions video, so if you like this kind of video, hit the like button so I know in future that you like this kind of video. Definitely hit the subscribe button if it's your first time here and you haven't seen this video before. It's a tiny bridge. It only fits one car, so we have to be kind of careful going over the top of this because there could be someone coming to the other side. No, we're okay. Go! Little petrol engine. Change gear when I see the little pistons pop out along the bonnet. So Volkswagen are looking kind of peachy at the moment, which is a good place to put them. They seem to come out quite headstrong right there into their statements of what they're going to do and how they're going to do it over the coming months. It's interesting. It's all about the tech, baby. It's all about the tech. So expect to hear some sponsored advertising things on various outlets about the tech behind what's involved in cars and what happens in cars, but not just cars, just tech in general. Will we see automated driving before 2020? I don't know. Next 5 years will tell all. Will Tesla be able to survive the next 3-4 years? I don't think so, unless they reimagine. A little lady was stuck in the side of the road. It's terrible. Unless they reimagine their business mentality. I don't know if Tesla's going to survive what's coming next, because everybody's going to catch them with their pants around their ankles very shortly when they come out with all their electric cars. Volkswagen will be going electric 600 kilometer range come 2020. So we're talking 2 years here, less than 2 years here, when that actually comes to Ireland. And then there'll be less electricity points needed across the country because there's 600 kilometer range, charged mostly at home, and so on. The marketing messages continue. For now, we're stuck with petrol, diesel, T Roc. You have e-Golf, which is the electric Golf. You have Passat GTE and Golf GTE, which are hybrid versions. So there is a lot of stuff moving around. Let's see if Volkswagen can still pull it out of the bag and get over their sort of Dieselgate scandalous stuff about diesels. They still will be doing a diesel. Of course, their 2-litre diesel is a standard engine and is still being rolled out across the range. We have to wait and see till I get a go at a full review of the car. Once I've lived with the car for a week, I'll know more about the car then. Thank you very much for watching this far. Hopefully I've been entertaining for you wherever I possibly can be, and hopefully you've learned something about this car. If you like this video, click that like button. If you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button if it's your first time here. And you might also check out the sponsorship opportunities down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the far side.